Hello folks, welcome to Scott Rods, thanks for dropping by. I have a ton of stuff to do today, so let's get straight into it. The first thing I'll be working on today will be the trunk floor and also the fuel cell cradle. Remember when I installed it, I thought I was happy with the height. Now that the weight is on it, it's just hanging a wee bit too low. But the good news is I've got plenty of room to raise it up. You can't quite see it, but I probably get about 6 inches, so I'm going to raise it up about 3 inches. In order to do that, I'm going to cut away half of this floor. Hey, it's a good echo in here. Anyway, I'm going to cut away from about there all the way around, and probably this panel as well. And that means I don't need to take the whole floor out in order to get the fuel tank out the top. This floor is a bit religious anyway, so it can get cut out and replaced with some fresh metal. I need to buy a sheet of 18 gauge anyway because I want to build the firewall also. So that's one thing I'm doing today. I managed to find the fuel pipe that I was talking about in an earlier video. I thought it was lost and gone forever. But I've measured this, it's roughly 11 feet and I need about 10 feet to get from the fuel cell up to the engine area. And I've got some fuel, rubber fuel hose as well to connect that to the tank and that to the fuel pump. I also have deliveries. New stuff arrived between yesterday and today. I'll show you what that is later. But the first thing I want to ask is, this is the internal trim panel frame, whatever, for the front windscreen. I was looking into getting glass and I'm very confused. Let me show you why. I was on the phone this morning to a local glass guy who specialises in hot rod stuff, and he gave me a price which is kind of eye-watering. But anyway, he told me I need to get the window rubber seal for it. They don't supply that. However, I can't figure out how it's going to work. A normal window rubber seal would have a lip on one side of the frame and then the glass coming in the other, and then there's a sort of bit of rubber in the middle with a gap at one side and a gap at the other. However, I don't have that lip here. It comes up here, curls round and then goes straight down. So I don't understand how a rubber seal would attach to that section. So this question is specifically for Ted, who's been helping me try and work this out. As I say, there's no lip on the inside. If you can see, it just goes straight up. So again, it curls round here and then goes straight up that way. So we're talking, oh my goodness, 1/3 of an inch up there thickness. I don't understand, so please help me out with that one. I'm very confused. And just to confirm, all the window sections are the same. Why are you not focusing? All the window sections are the same. You've got this curved section and then it goes straight down there. There's no sharp lip coming out to catch a rubber seal. Same in the back window. Now I do have the interior trim sections which I presume push against the glass. I've got the rear window, I've got the front window. I don't have these little quarter windows. And obviously Ted provided me with all the glass for the doors, so that's not a problem. Okay, let's chop out some floor, shall we? That should do it. Might as well see if I can get the tank in while we're here, eh? some nice sharp bits for me to slip my wrist on. Okay, so that'll work. You know what, I don't actually have a lot of height from the filler neck to the floor, so I don't think I will be raising the tank up. I might think about that one. The body's still to come up a little bit, maybe about an inch, but it's not going to make much difference. So this pipe is the right shape, it's just not the right size. So if it was fitting there, yeah, I can't go any higher than that, because that's going to head up to the filler neck. However, I could step the floor up a bit, I suppose, couldn't I? That's not a bad idea. Yeah, I'll think about that one. Looking at it from here, you can see that the tank is just, it's about 3 inches too low. So yeah, I think I'm going to raise it up and then step the floor. And it won't be too intrusive on the inside actually, because the step will be from about this point up and across. So I've still got most of the floor. As I say, the floor will come along to there and go up and then along, so I've got all that. And I will, yeah, about 3 inches, because obviously I'm still limited by this coming up. So if that's just at the underside of the floor, and then I've got 3 inches from this point up. That makes sense? Makes sense to me. I'm going to have to shorten these bolts though. I might actually put in captive bolts at the nuts at this side, weld them onto there, because getting access to that would be an absolute nightmare if I have to change the shocks. So I weld nuts on here, and then I can just screw in a bolt all the way through from that side. I've got plenty of access room there. Let's have a look at my latest goodies from Amazon. So I needed a new gasket for my carb, and the gaskets were like between $10 and $15 just for the little gasket that goes in the bottom. Ridiculous. Anyway, I noticed this thing on Amazon, which was about $20, $22. I'll post links to all this stuff. But it came with the bolts, because I don't have bolts for it either. And it also came with, obviously, your base gasket and another gasket, full set of bolts for whatever application you want, and this lovely little spacer plate. Let me show you how nice this is. Nice piece of cast aluminum. So I will try that and see if that works. That should actually help a bit with flow, and because it's off the engine, it might help with the cooling as well, which is nice. So yeah, that would that gasket goes on the intake manifold. That would get bolted down to that, and then this will go, which way round are we? I don't know. Let's go this way. And that all lines up nicely. So I'm quite pleased with that. As I said, it's either $20 or $22. I'll post a link. So as I say, I only needed the gasket, but for an extra $5 or $10, you know, it was, might as well get the whole set. Really nice. Excuse me. Right, next. Oh. Okay, on the subject of carbs, remember this is carb number 1 from previous video. And I removed that little bar that was holding the choke open. So I ordered a new cable, and here it is. Again, this was not too expensive, and I went for just the kind of brushed steel look. Let's make sure it fits, and we'll move on to the next one. Here. Little adjuster screw. Right, so when I pull this lever out, it should open. There we go. Yeah, I might need to straighten this wire on the inside. It's catching a little bit there and forcing it out like that, so that's okay. I might actually put a little rubber sleeve on that just to give it more grip. Right, next, let's move that aside. So I decided just to buy a new fuel gauge and float, fuel gauge sender unit, whatever, because the one I have in the tank isn't working. I tested it, it's not working. And the gauge I've got, or the gauge I had before, was for a different tank with a matching sender, so I just bought a new kit. It wasn't expensive, like $40 or something for the kit. It's just a basic little gauge, lights up at night time. Sort of universal fit sender unit. You adjust it. You can just adjust it to height there. So I can test that out any time, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I just hope it fits the hole in the tank. Otherwise, I'll be making it bigger. Not keen on that though. It's got nuts and bolts. I'm not wanting nuts on the inside of my tank. It's probably supposed to have threaded inserts. I'll see if I've still got my tool for that. Right, that's all I got today. Alright, you know the drill by now. Time to get the body off, hopefully for the last time. I really hope that is the last time I take the body off. I'm really getting sick of that. I mean, the hoist does all the work, but it's still a pain. Right, I am going to do a checklist of stuff that I need to get done before the body goes back on, and you guys have to remind me that I've done it all. Okay, so here's the list. So starting at the very back, rear body mounts ×2. Fuel cell cradle needs to come up 3 inches, certainly no higher than those bolts, absolute maximum. Okay, so let's see, yeah, I can bring it up about 3 inches and then trim the top of that off, so that's okay. It doesn't matter if this side comes up, I've got plenty of room at the back. I can do the plumbing and everything once. No, I can't actually. Okay, so the next thing, I need to do the fuel line, which is either going to go across that way or round this way and then along there, hard line all the way to the front. So I need to do that before the body's back on. Next, I want to add another spacer in here just to bring it out another 1/4 inch on both sides, because that spring is just too close and that spring is just too close to this beam. So bring that out a little bit and trim the end of that off and weld a nut onto this bracket. Forward, I need to relocate that, as I said I was going to, down to about there. So that's the rear flex pipe bracket, needs to get relocated. The 4-link is all good, that just needs adjusted to square off the wheels with the front and the back. Drive shaft is fine. I still need to tighten them. They're not tight yet because I didn't have spring washers. So I want spring washers and then tighten up the drive shaft at the back. What else we got? The brake line still needs clipped in, but I can do that from underneath if I have to. Body mounts are good there. Handbrake I'm going to do from underneath because I'm not quite sure. I think I'll put it at the top here, and these two holes I can use them to attach any sort of bracket I make for the handbrake, and then it'll come up through the floor at some point up here. I need to make a transmission mount down there. Don't technically need to do that with the body off, but it'll be much easier to do it if I can get access from the top. I need to mount my little oil cooler for the transmission. I'll probably do something similar to what Bad Hombre did and mount it in there somewhere. I've got plenty of space and it's quite a shallow one, so I could just mount it that way about there. That'll be fine. Maybe do a little scoop so it collects air. And then I need to get the engine out and finish the welding around here. And I don't need to do those brackets with the body off. So it really is just finish off this bit of welding in the frame. I've got a bit more boxing to do in the inside, and then drill a hole for the brake line to come through. And I think that's it. I think then I can put the body back on finally for the last time. Okay, so that's my checklist. Yeah, I've got something else to add to the list. I've ordered an exhaust of sorts, and it would be much easier to try and install the exhaust with the body off. My plan is to, obviously I've got the headers there and the collectors, so it'll come down here somehow, and I think in this section here I'm going to put in a couple of silencers and then work out how I'm going to hook it over and down, which is actually better if I raise that up. I'll have more room for a pipe. So there won't be silencers at the back, the silencers will be in there. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. So if I forget any of that, please remind me. And if you forget, then it's all your fault if it goes wrong. I'm taking no responsibility. Okay, I'm not going to start this today. It's just too darn hot. With the humidity, it's like 36, 37 degrees, about 90 degrees in American money. And it's just drags you down. There is supposed to be a thunderstorm coming tonight to clear the air and get rid of the humidity, so I will get up bright and early and get stuck in. So, thanks for dropping by and watching me do absolutely nothing today. Sorry. But remember the checklist, and remember to subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.